Are you considering moving to Fort Collins, Colorado? Well, let's be honest, this town is not for everyone. There are some big factors that you need to know that could make or break your decision to move here. My name is Ellie Kates. I am a realtor serving all of Northern Colorado. If I can help answer any questions about the area, or if I can help you buy or sell real estate, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to help. But without further ado, let's jump into the 8 things you need to know before moving to Fort Collins. So the first step, and the most obvious in my opinion, is the climate. It is a semi-arid climate here in Fort Collins, meaning that there's relatively low humidity and a lot of sunny days, which is really, really nice in the winter. I know seeing snow, having snow, it can be quite of a shock. It was for me when I moved here from South Carolina. But since it's so dry and sunny, it really has lovely winter days. And they call them the bluebird days with the snow on the ground, bright blue skies. So it's quite nice, but it's a little complicated though. There's a running joke that you never really know what the weather's going to be like. Tomorrow it could be 65, and then the next day it could snow 13 inches and be 20 degrees. So you have to be prepared for that. Bring your layers. And another side note, when I first moved here, I would ask people, are there natural disasters? Is there anything I should be worried about? And people were like, no, there's no natural disasters here, you're good. But that's actually not the case. I'm sure you've seen in the news, fires, floods. But overall, generally speaking, it's not a huge deal unless you're in a floodplain or if you are in the mountains, and there are measures you can take to mitigate fire risk. Coming in at number 2 is the fact that Fort Collins is a college town. So it is home to Colorado State University, or CSU, the Rams, and although this could be a deterrent for some people, I really think that it adds a lot of vibrancy to the community. When you have a student population, you have a lot of events, fun things happening throughout the year. So I love it. The population here in Fort Collins is about 178,000, including the student population, which is 34,000. I think it's kind of cool because in the summer when the students do leave, things do get a bit more quiet, which is kind of nice to have that. But even still, Fort Collins was just ranked the most peaceful town to live in the U.S. They did this study where they measured the sound of the town, and it's actually really quiet here. So despite having those college kids, it's a very wonderful place to raise a family. Number 3 is the fact that Fort Collins is incredibly outdoorsy and health conscious. There is a very strong feeling of work hard, play hard here, and you'll have a ton of people who go hike a 14er, and if you're not familiar with that term, it's a mountain that's at least 14,000 feet in elevation. So go climb a 14er, come back, go to a brewery, and this kind of translates to a lot of different areas within the lifestyle. I think that because of that, the dress code here, not that there's a dress code, but the way people dress is very casual, and that was kind of a shocker for me. Coming from the South where you dress up to go get a gallon of milk, it is definitely not like that here. And there's still times when I go out, if I want to dress up, because I like to dress up, that I definitely feel overdressed. But overall, I think people don't really judge you if you're dressed up, and you can kind of fit in. People don't really care. So it's just a unique part of the culture. And if you are into health foods and being health conscious, it's such a great place to be. There's health food stores and a lot of like-minded people in that realm. Number 4 is the cost of living. So the cost of living index ranks Fort Collins at 115.7, meaning that it is 15.7% higher than the national average and 4% higher than the Colorado average. The average cost of a home here is $545,000, which is 61% more than the national average and about 3.4% higher than the Colorado average. It's recommended that for a family you have an income of $104,400 and for individuals that you have 50,800. So that's definitely something to consider. So if number 4 scared you a little bit, number 5 might make you feel a little bit better, but the economy in Fort Collins is very strong. There are multiple industries here. There's high tech, healthcare, research facilities, the university, manufacturing plants, and it really creates a stable environment and economy. So when recessions do hit the nation, typically Fort Collins isn't as affected as much. So huge benefit. Another amazing thing is the fact that Fort Collins residents really support local businesses. So you see all kinds of restaurants and local mom and pop shops popping up, and it's really special. Number 6 is Fort Collins loves its beer. Fort Collins produces about 70% of Colorado's craft beer, and it produces about 7% of the craft beer in the nation. There are a ton of breweries here, having multiple styles. New Belgium, Odell's are the biggest ones, but there are a lot of microbreweries with offering really great selections. And the culture, kind of revolves around this. So people go to breweries on the weekends, weeknights, and there are a lot of festivals too that revolve around beer. One of the biggest ones, one of my favorite days of the year, it's Tour de Fat. It's put on by New Belgium, and there's a huge bike parade through downtown. Everyone dresses in costumes, are really funky, drinks beer, there's musicians, art, vendors, and it's a really good time. So Fort Collins really knows how to party. Number 7 is Fort Collins loves its live music. There are multiple venues here. There's the Aggie, Washington's, the Artery. There is a really special venue. It's up the Poudre. So if you haven't heard of that, the Poudre River or the Poudre Canyon, it's just northwest of Fort Collins, and about 45 minutes away, there's this really beautiful, intimate music venue called Mishawaka, also known as the Mish, and it's situated right on the river. It's a really, really special place. But obviously, you have Red Rocks, that's just a short drive away in Denver. And we, like I mentioned in the last point, there are multiple festivals, and there's really great ones revolving around music. And Fort Collins puts on this one called FOCO MX every spring, and it brings out local musicians, musicians from Colorado. And it's kind of like South by Southwest, but in Fort Collins, and all these different restaurants, venues have live music going on, and it's just a really good time. Last but not least is Fort Collins takes its education very seriously. About 58% of the population here has at least a bachelor's degree. And in addition to having CSU, Fort Collins has one of the best school districts in the state, which is Poudre School District. It serves about 30,000 students with 52 schools, 5 charter schools, and there are countless options for private schools, and there's also a pretty vibrant homeschool community. Poudre High School offers IB classes, and it's just really a fantastic area that really prizes education overall. All right, there you have it. That's my 8 things to know before moving to Fort Collins. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is anything a deal breaker, or are you thinking of moving to the area? And as I mentioned before, feel free to reach out if I can help you with any real estate needs in Northern Colorado. I'd be happy to do so. I'll leave my contact information up here and down below. Thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time.